Morning everybody. We have got a Hitachi EX270 here with a stick end that's smoked. Let's see, we can get bushing started in there ways on that side. Bushing we're going about halfway on that side. So it's a Weld and rebore. It's the only hole they're having me work on. They've got these ones started. They're going okay. So we're gonna have at this and see if we can't get her banged out. Alright, so I had some alignment bushings that were this size. So it's nice when you get to them at this stage where they've just blown the outside of the hole and the inside ain't gone yet. Helps you, you can just realign on the old bushing. It's not safe to use alignment cones on them when they're like this because the outside's all bell-mouthed. If you do, then you definitely have to come up here, mount a bar here, and make sure you got the two holes square to each other. But on this one, I got some nice snug alignment bushings in there. We're going to run with it. Well, my battery has decided to croak. So we got to give her a little jump job here. So here's what's crazy about this. I bought this welder new at least 13, probably 14 years ago. And that's the factory battery in that thing. I can't complain. That's an unbelievable lifespan on a battery. So anyway, we're going to give her a little charge time here and see what she does. So we got the welder running. I thought I'd mention something. A lot of these, I don't know which all, but I know Kohler is one of them, where depending on the way their charging system is configured, you can blow your voltage regulator if you put too much power to them, because the way they work is by shorting out the output to ground on the permanent magnet alternator those have in them. So generally, don't quote me on this, but you're good up to about 10 amps because most of them will handle that kind of amperage, but you go more than that and you will smoke the voltage regulator. You gotta really watch it when you're jumping those. Like, there's absolutely no scenario under which you can hook one up to a pickup truck without frying it if it's one of that style. darn thing had one of them rotten sleeves in between there, so it was destroyed. So anyway, just got done extracting it, had to tear everything down. Now I'm cleaning out the board, and then I'll set back up again, and we will weld it and put shoulders in. I hate those sleeve setups. We fell on a side over nominal, so we shouldn't quite clean up at this edge, but close enough, that'll weld in. done welding. I'll get some light in that hole where you can actually see something. Looking pretty good. Time to tear down all of this gear and get ready to stuff the boring rig back in there. Well, good morning everybody. We're back here for day number 2 on this. Definitely should have been a one-day job, but I didn't get here till late yesterday and then had to take off to go to my wife's work Christmas party. So it's all cooled off nice. That's the one down or upside to cutting out. I think I'm into it 5 hours so far. Some of that's from having to screw around, cutting that thing out and cleaning up. Probably should have been about 4 hours to get to this stage if it wasn't for that. But anyway, we're gonna set up and go to it. So, right now I am cutting 100,000 under finished dimensions. The weld buildup is generally somewhere around 100,000 with this rig that I've got. Anyway, what we're up to, I say 100, probably about 125, but right now technically I'd be skimming it at the 100 under number, and I'm definitely taking some out. Alright, time for the first official machining cut. I gotta get my depth stop figured out here in a minute, make sure I got it set. Alright, there it is. I don't know if you can see it. I've got a shoulder that's much taller than 50 thousandths in there. My math was a little wonky, but at any rate, when I say math's a little wonky, what it is when you measure using the tail of the caliper to the tip of the tool, you almost always end up with a situation where for some reason you're cutting the bore quite a bit smaller than what you think you are. I'm not sure why it works that way, but I only use that for crude setting, and knowing that, you're always measuring on the safe side, I guess is how I'd put it. Like your bore, in my experience, always ends up a little smaller. So at any rate, we're looking fantastic. This side is done, other than we're not going to face this per se. We're just going to come up here and touch this off because they're not redoing the bucket. So at this point, the faces of this are worn to somewhat match the bucket. They're going to shim it. I'll just come in here with a grinder, knock off the edge of this. So at any rate, we're going to come over here now and buzz this side out and get our butts out of here. Making chips, about a 50 thou on a side cut right now. looking good. All right, so we nailed her. My finished dimension I was shooting for was 4.134. This side is measuring 4.1335. So there's the number I'm shooting for. This side is half a thou over. That side is half a thou under. So plus or minus half a thou when you're using spring calipers to do the measuring, I consider to be fantastic number acquisition. So anyway, we're going to clean this up, deburr it, stomp some parts, and we'll shoulders in at least 2 to 3 millimeters deeper than the total stack up of the steel and the bushing. And the reason for that is that the faces wear over time, and if I cut them in a little deep, that gives them a little running room. You know, they can put bushings and seals in several times before they need more work done that way. And honestly, the shoulder is just an emergency backstop, right? Like, it's only in there if they get loose so they don't fall to the inside and really trash the board. Customer had been working on installing these, driving them in, and got them this far, couldn't get them to go any further. Unfortunately, they put them in dry. I never do that, as you saw. The reason is they tend to go up, and this one I can see it was plowing some metal, but at this point it's going to get stuffed in the hole. That may necessitate a bore next time. Anyway. Well, she's a done deal. That's it for this one. Back out into the blizzard.